Yo.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys?
Yes. This DJ will kick the floor in three, two, 1.
On the troll.
Hello and welcome to Mzansi. It's that time of the night, a bit early today. I think 30 minutes or even 45 minutes early. My intention was even to be more earlier. But we are here now, and let us do what we need to do, what I think we owe these people at this point in time, because they have gotten used to it, so we have to deliver. But as we do that, we also have gotten used to your likes and subscription, guys, your numbers. If they're numbering, we will also number as usual. Hello, Zosbia. We are here. Yeah, it's the time for us to be here. And today, I guess it's a Good Friday.
It's a Friday. Hey, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. This is where we discuss court cases in the form of court of public opinion.
Yes, and we are alleging here. Please make sure that you actually keep up with the likes as the views increase. I would like not to remind people. I would like to believe that we have an audience that is now understanding and can actually fathom this thing of us asking for likes. Those who want to join the membership, as I'm showing now, this is exactly how you do it. There's something that's going to show you there how you do it, and the likes are also directed in the very same thing that you see there. So, Emil, court was short today.
Very short.
But we are not done with Mosia.
Mosia is still the witness.
Okay, so let us first deal with what happened in court, and then deal with what is not happening in court.
Yes. So Advocate Zitulele Nxumalo for accused number 4 was set to continue with the cross-examination of Warrant Officer Thabo Mosia. And Advocate Zandile Mshololo for accused number 5 was not in court today, okay? So Nxumalo then said, started off by asking Warrant Officer Mosia. He said, yesterday, Warrant Officer, we were dealing with the swabbing. I had asked you some questions regarding the swabbing or the swabs that you took on that day. Is it correct that you told this court that you did the swabbing on bedroom 1? And Mosia said, yes, it's true, my lord. Where else did you take the swabs inside the house? And Mosia said, bedroom 1, swabbed from door handle and marked swabbed 1, dry swab, and swab 2, wet swab. Is it only the door handle? How about the rest of the doors? Blood was swabbed with swab 3, which was a dry swab, and swab 4, which was a wet one. I also did a swab in the sitting room where there was blood on the floor. So Nxumalo then asked, okay, Warrant Officer, I think I must direct you to where I want you to give answers. Did you swab the bathroom door? And Mosia said the bathroom door handle, and I marked them as swab 7 and swab 8. So Nxumalo asked, do you see the bedroom opposite the bathroom door? Did you take swabs there? And Mosia said, no, I did not take swabs based on certain reasons. And what are those reasons? Mosia said by using his knowledge as an expert, he was able to make a decision that maybe the family that was in the house. He said, I told them not to touch anything in the house. They can use the bedroom A and the main bedroom because I was unable to receive instructions relating to the incident. Nxumalo asked, your knowledge is flawed as you were there as a forensic investigator. Mosia said, I disagree with that as I work according to the instructions that I'm given when I'm at the scene of the incident. Nxumalo asked, from whom did you receive the instructions? And Mosia said, there is no one who gave me instructions. I use the instructions I'm given when I ask about what happened at that incident.
Yes.
Now, this is where the language barrier or language into English is kind of tricky. Because how Mosia was saying it was as if he's talking about receiving instructions.
Yes.
Okay. And he was talking about receiving information from the victims who were narrating it from the house or who were in the house. But how he put it, Kasesotho, it just sounded like he said that he's receiving instructions.
Yeah.
So Nxumalo then said, when you were there at the scene, did you interview any of the witnesses? And Mosia said yes. Nxumalo asked who? Mosia said, amongst them I only knew one person. I didn't know their names except for Kelly Khumalo, but I'm no longer sure of who I asked questions. Now I find this very suspicious.
So you knew Kelly Khumalo, so you were in a
Celebrity's house.
yeah.
He was starstruck
You were starstruck
or something.
instead of working.
You were only looking at Kelly Khumalo.
Ah,
How come you don't know everyone else who was in that house, especially the people that saw the incident? Because you'd be asking them one by one, so what happened, right? What happened? What happened? So that you can put your exhibits and place them properly. What happened? You wait for them one by one, you know? That's what I expect a forensic analyst to be doing, but it seems like not here. And people are saying we are too harsh, but hi, ziyakhala South Africa, guys.
Zikhala kakhulu.
Zikhala kakhulu la. So, and then he said he only knew Kelly Khumalo, and he's not sure of who he asked. Nxumalo asked, from whom did you get information that Kelly went into the first bedroom and the intruder followed her? Mosia said, when I got to the scene, I interacted with police who were there. This is not an answer, Mosia. This is not a direct answer. And I feel like, short the answer. What are you saying? The police are the ones who told you that there was a tussle at the bedroom that Kelly Khumalo ran into. You didn't get it from the victims or the so-called victims.
Yeah.
Nxumalo then asked, the reason why I'm concerned about the bedroom where you did not take swabs is because there is evidence before this court that Tumelo Madlala, after the gunshot went off, he went into the bedroom. Why did you not take swabs there? Or where you did not take swabs? And Mosia said, my investigations were directed at the perpetrators rather than the victims. So it didn't occur to you that the witnesses could be suspects. And Mosia says it did not occur to him. So Nxumalo asked, you also said you didn't take swabs at the kitchen door. Why? And Mosia said, according to the points I received, the kitchen door was used a lot. Even after the incident, the kitchen door was used a lot, even with me. They took a long time before letting me know about the incident so that I could respond quickly. Nxumalo asked, do you confirm that you also took swabs 5 and 6? And Mosia said yes. Nxumalo asked also 3 and 4, and Mosia said yes, it is so. Nxumalo asked, can you go through and read for the record swabs 5 and 6, the statement or affidavit of Warrant Officer Mhlahlo? And Mosia said swab 5 collected dry swab from the kitchen tile wall for possible human blood, skin epithelial cells and DNA with collection number what. Swab 6 also collected wet swab from the kitchen tiled wall for possible human blood and DNA sealed in collection number whatever. Right? Nxumalo then asked, so the swab 5 and 6 you took from the kitchen wall? And Mosia said yes. Nxumalo asked, where exactly in the kitchen? And Mosia said the arc that leads to the passage from the kitchen. I'm like, that's Mtogo's terminology, the arc.
It is.
The arc.
It is.
He said, are you able to estimate, warrant officer, from the floor level, how far was it where you detected the blood? Swab 5 and 6. And Mosia was flipping through his file, honey. The way he was flipping through that file, like I could hear the sound. I could hear the sound of he's flipping too much. There's too much flipping.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Okay.
And then he said he could estimate plus minus 2 meters from the floor. So Mosia said, okay, Nxumalo asked, was that dry or wet blood? And Mosia said dry. that is why he used wet swabs. So by the time he took samples of this blood, it was dry. It was very dry, according to him. Nxumalo then said, was it spots of blood or one spot of blood? And Mosia said it was smaller droplets of blood. Now they went through the exhibits showing swabs of mouth of Heineken can, right and left hand swabs, swab next to the TV stand and the kitchen tile wall. And Mosia asked, I'm not certain about, okay, Mosia is the one actually adding information while he was going through that exhibit. He said he's not certain about this, but what he thinks it is the results of the DNA from the forensic science laboratory. Nxumalo asked, would I be correct to say swab 3 and 4, which was found on the floor near the TV stand, matched that of the deceased? And Mosia said, I trust so, I think so. This is not an answer.
No, this is not an answer we're waiting for. Is there? I was still going to get more experts to come and tell us the results.
They said the ballistic experts are coming.
What about the results of the blood and all those things?
Mosia is the one who's responsible for that, and he's not direct.
So Mosia is responsible for getting the results, not getting information from the scene and giving it to someone else, and then or taking it
someone
to
from the lab coming.
I don't know.
Unless if it's Warrant Officer Mhlahlo, but then it seems like with Warrant Officer Mhlahlo,
whoever was creating the case, no, it would be Ginindi actually. It should be Ginindi.
But then if Mosia is not, he said I trust though, I think so. It's not a direct answer to say that blood was Senzo's.
Look, let us be consistent. What happened with the ones that let us look at, not to bring Alexander case here, but do you remember what was the story about the gun testing and all those things?
I remember a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so the person who compiles everything, who should be getting these results, it should be the person who's in charge of investigating the case. And in this case, it will be Ginindi.
Okay.
So Mosia did his part. If he's not that much interested in exploring what could happen there.
Hey, Mosia. Nxumalo then said swab 6, which he took on the kitchen tile wall, matched the deceased. And Mosia said, I hear you. I do not have supporting facts to the DNA results.
Yeah. So
a whole forensic what? What do they call him? Forensic gatherer.
Yeah, but it's self-explanatory. He's gathering forensic. That's it. That's his job. He gathers it as much as he thinks.
So he
he's
doesn't
doing.
care about the results.
The
He cares
results.
about
It's
collection.
one of those police, I guess, that.
Then why is he testifying?
What he did, I was in the scene. I did take things that I was supposed to take. Basically, his evidence is based on that.
On taking.
Yes.
Nxumalo asked, while you were still at the crime scene, did you get any information about where the deceased was when he was shot? And Mosia said, based on the information of the incident, he's saying that the incident transpired in the kitchen. The exhibits also led him to that. Okay. So I remember saying something regarding this, but maybe it will come on later, but I just want to add it now.
Yeah, do.
Where he was saying that according to his observation, he was standing in the middle of the kitchen and his back was facing the inside of the house. His back was facing the kitchen door.
Yeah.
So that was Mosia's observation. And also, Nxumalo asked, did you receive information on where exactly he was in the kitchen when he was shot? Oh yes, this is the part. The kitchen is too small or too confined. But based on his reconstruction of the crime scene, his inference could be that the deceased had his back against the kitchen door, standing in the middle of the kitchen.
Which then would mean that the bullet that hit the door was inside. Is that what Mosia is saying?
No, he's saying from his inference of
No,
where
no, no.
Senzo-
Let's look at that position. Let us say we take that we accept temporarily that position. So his back was against what? The door, facing inside. So the intruder or not an intruder, whoever was busy there was facing the door. Is that what?
Yes.
Yeah. So that
Yes.
would mean that bullet that grazed the door, it was from Senzo. Do you understand? But then, how do you explain the one on top? If then
kitchen
if you remove that one, how do you explain the one that is on top of
kitchen
of the
counter.
kitchen count? Hence, some questions when when they were asked. I don't know who asked this question. Was there maybe a damage on what you call
on the door.
no on
the
on the ceiling? That would be someone who's shooting up. Then that would mean that that bullet maybe came back from that. But if it comes back, why would it come back? It would have went out actually, because probably it's tiles. That spaza shop is tiles. But then, just for argument's sake, the theory that he was trying to push there is, why then do we have a bullet that is sitting behind a jar
In the kitchen.
in the kitchen count? If then your theory is that Senzo probably was against the door, and we have
was
an
in the
accountability
middle of
on
the
that door through the grazing of that door.
So Nxumalo asks, what would be your estimation from where the deceased was standing and the kitchen door? What would be the distance? And Mosia said that he will have to refer to pictures. Mosia was flipping through that file again, like flipping. And then Nxumalo said, is photo 15 not going to be of assistance to you? And Mosia said, yes, 15 will help me. The state objected, saying that the witness is being asked questions that are out of his expertise and he's expected to speculate, saying it's an unfair question.
Expected. It's like speculating that people were intruders. It's the same thing, my lord. It's the same thing.
I'm like, he's a forensic what, right? Though. But being asked about the firearm and the shots, he collected the bullets. Why is he now being exempted from being asked about some of the information regarding what he knows from his experience? He collects bullets, right? Come on now.
So you must have some
So-
sort of a theory to actually help with the investigation. He must have
Bible.
followed a certain theory to say that, okay, if there is a grazing here, and as a person who understands more about these
Crime
guns
scene.
issues, and so you would know where the bullet entered and exited, so that you can follow properly with your naked eyes in this case, which my lord made a meal of it today again. In terms of defending. You see, this thing of defending the witnesses, you end up testifying.
Yeah.
The man now is referencing himself as to say, do you remember when I said 1, 2, 3? It shows that you are actually now testifying on behalf of these people.
And yes, he fumbled again today because that's not what was being asked. Okay. The judge was in agreement, humming. Then he asked, yes, Mr. Nxumalo, what is your response? And Nxumalo said, my lord, I withdraw that question because Mangena is still coming. Okay, and then he withdrew the question. Nxumalo asked, did you find blood spots behind the door? And Mosia said, no. Nxumalo said, if you take swabs on the door handles, do you take the swabs on the inner or outside of the door handle, or both? And Mosia said, I do them outside. So he only takes the swabs from the outside door part handle of the door, not the inside part, just the outside. So Nxumalo asked, are there reasons that made you not take swabs in the inner door handle? And Mosia said that when I do the swabbing, I follow movement of suspects. I asked how far they went in a particular area and what happened. I test the outside based on that. And Baloyi stood again and he said, there appears to be a misunderstanding of counsel's question. Counsel actually means that if there is a door handle, and he even demonstrated it. I don't know if I have a pen or something. He's like, if there is a door, if there is a door handle and inside the outer part of the door and inside part of the door handle, then the judge was like, no, he's referring to the two handles, the one on the inside and the one on the outside. So I don't know what was happening with Baloyi there, because I'm like, what inside are you talking about? Because there's a door and then there's a handle from the outside of the door and there's a handle from the inside of the door. So inside part, you're actually talking. No.
He's confused.
And then Nxumalo asked, yes, and the question has been answered. Thank you. And Nxumalo continued to the next question by asking, the door of the kitchen, is it a solid door or does it have a panel? And Mosia said the edge of the door is wood. Inside, in the middle, it looks like there is a space between the two layers of the door. And then he asked, was there a hole? And Mosia said, on the outside, there was no hole. So yesterday, I remember we were not sure of this part. So outside of the door, there was no hole. And Nxumalo asked, there was damage. Was there a hole? And Mosia said, since it was nighttime, I didn't look properly. The following morning, when he went there...
Wait. Let me get this correct. So that would mean that bullet did not go out. So it did
in my opinion,
a U-turn.
Back inside the house.
And if that is the case, would you disagree with me if I say, for whatever reason, that same hit on the door is a hit that was from Senzo's body? Maybe it lost
a little bit of
momentum that was needed to go outside. But that then also makes the theory of 3 times more important, because then the judge said, is it important or not? Now you see why it's important. If someone says that they basically were saying that no bullet went outside, so they could have found 3 heads in the house, but they only found 2. And then one might go as further as arguing to say that no, the second one, in fact, was unnecessary. It could have been blunted.
There was only one shot.
Maybe there was only one shot.
Maybe.
Considering that the person who... This is where this issue of statements and whatever statement that you make, and then if you pass away, it mostly become like almost null and void. This is where recordings would help, because we'll still continue with that.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes, if the police had on body cams.
Why I say that is because there was a policeman who was a neighbor, which is Nxashe, but it's normal. I'm sure Nxashe would have explained this thing in a different perspective based on the fact that he's a policeman. It seemingly he was a good policeman.
And reading from his statement, it was quoted before De Novo. He only spoke of one shot.
Exactly.
He heard one shot.
But now, conveniently, Nxashe is gone. And then, even though we have the statement that Nxumalo wrote, we seem not to
Can't use
trust it
Yeah, we can't use it because he's not there to testify.
because that's what our law says. And which is very surprising for me, because that says that you do not trust the police. Yet you are building your case around the very same police. And everything they say is taken seriously. But yet the statements that they take with people where they sign and put their initials and everything, signature, it does not matter when the person is gone. Isn't that, for study purposes, isn't that playing in the hands of the same case that our learned judge likes to use, which is playing games with the case itself? Because by eliminating someone who has deported a statement, you have literally silenced that statement.
Which would explain in South Africa why we have this crisis of witnesses' lives being in danger when they have to testify.
Do you understand?
In
Do you
court.
understand? Yes.
People don't want to testify in court because some people die just for saying this is what I saw and going and testifying.
This is
in
where
court.
you expect lawyers who talk too much to go and deal with such case studies and make submissions through research and change the laws of South Africa. Isn't that why people go to school?
Apparently not.
Because they are learned. They even call themselves learned friend.
But
so
it's time to challenge them because this
it's
is no
time to
longer
challenge
working.
these things.
This is not working anymore. Like, people are afraid to testify. Look at how whistleblowers are even treated.
let us eliminate
It's
that.
bad.
Let us eliminate that. Once you have reduced something on writing, and maybe there's a
Even if
video
you are
format
no
or
more,
what, even if you
it
are no
is
more,
placed in
it
court
should
as
be
evidence.
accepted as evidence.
Yes. I second that. Not this thing of if you pass away, then people's lives are in danger just because they want to do the right thing. No, that can't be. It cannot be. So I feel like that part of the law needs a revamp.
Yeah, it does. It does need a revamp. Can you imagine the case that you would have concorded under Brigadier Ndlovu's statements and all the things that he has done, under everyone who has participated in this case for long, under those boys that were claimed to have seen two guys or something running out of the house who eventually disappeared
Also.
and passed away also, and their statement become null and void. So,
And even the people in the house, they don't want to speak. Okay, what if some of them don't want to speak for
because
that
they
particular
don't
reason?
feel safe.
Because they are afraid that if I just sing, my life as I know it is over.
Because if you follow this thing, when Difo submitted that there was someone, in my own opinion, I believe there was someone who was singing a different tune, and perhaps that is supported by the book of Soweto, Mr. Soweto. That is also submitted by the theory of the most hated person, which is Joyce Butelis. So there was, in fact, even to take it further, to me, was at some point giving the witness protection. I mean, Dumel. So that tells you that at some point there was someone maybe who wanted to talk a different talk, which is now, because of how South Africa is, it became difficult. It became a daunting task to actually pull, considering how long this case is taking, actually.
Yes.
And let us talk about the fact that it takes long. Even now we are on it, but it still takes long. We still see people, for some weird reason, God remembering them all the time. And
Just
these
before they
people are in
testify.
this case. How many people? We
It's a
have
lot.
the police
Brigadier
guy.
Ndlovu.
Who's this? Brigadier Ndlovu, the police guy.
Ngache.
Nxumalo.
Ngache.
Yes, and we have two guys that were alleged to have witnesses
to have seen a
who
vehicle.
say yes. That is like 5.
That's like 5.
That's like 5. Probably there's more.
There's more that we haven't yet been told. Namanje, can somebody check on Maggie Piri? Someone check on her. I'm joking, guys. But she needs to be protected. She needs to be safe. And the following morning, when you went there, did you check? Asked Nxumalo to Mosia. And he said, as I had help, it was easy to get help to trace the bullet. Then after that, we no longer continued. Wow. So the damage on that door, would it not assist you in tracing the trajectory, that is the movement of the bullet? And then Nxumalo quickly moved on to the next question to ask, will you agree with me that there are 2 damages on the door? There is one on the right and it looks like it's a brace. Then it's peeled, the door causing those 2 pieces there at the door. And Mosia was like, yes, it's visible. Would that not suggest the movement of the trajectory of the bullet when it was fired? And Mosia said investigations at night is not the same as investigations done during the day. That
Not
is
answering
why
the
it's
question.
important that when I have to proceed a crime scene, to return at the time of the day to inspect where I did not inspect. He didn't answer the question, guys. Then Nxumalo asked, yesterday you said there was no bullet lodged in the hole. And Mosia said, I explained that I noticed that the bullet didn't go through the door. I thought it did not exist. I thought perhaps it found a way to be stuck inside because I could not trace its movement. So Mosia here is saying that he thought that the bullet was stuck in the door. That was his thought process on that night. So Nxumalo then said 2 police officers arrived on the evening of the 26th of October 2014. They did, according to Matebula, he did a diligent search in the kitchen. There was no bullet that was found. He did not only look with his naked eyes, but also moved the items in the kitchen. And I'm like, okay, Nxumalo, mana. I remember everything else with the naked eye, Mr. Anonymous, but I don't think I remember the part where he said he moved. Did they say they moved anything? Matebula nomthetho.
I don't understand why do people use logic when it suits them. I mean, the judge, this is specifically to the judge. The judge used logic when it suits them, but when it doesn't, in this case, they said when they came back, they did look properly. Do you understand?
Twice, yes.
And the first time I understand, the submission of the first time, which now seems to be the order of the day of what happened.
Yes.
They said they just went in and went out and they just saw a few things and whatnot. There is a bit of contradiction there of what they saw could have been the blood and whatnot. And they went out. And then when they came back, then they had to look there because they realized that was a sin.
Yes.
Even if he did submit that they said he thought they were moving things, it's okay.
Is it?
Because that's what we've been treated to.
Okay, yeah.
You know, the
that's true,
judge would
though.
even show by hands. I mean, it's obvious. You know, why isn't it not obvious when it's someone else? I know that it's all about what you saw and what you
If he wanted
heard.
to object, he should have just said that part that we don't remember him saying that he moved anything. But what he did, guys, was astonishing. Baloyi stood up to object and said, I don't think that is my understanding. The word diligent is, and then the judge came along to assist. There was no evidence like that. That's what the judge said. I listened to the evidence. Ngibheke nje. I can even quote what the gentleman said. Ngibheke nje ngamehlo mthethwa. Then I suggested to you, why didn't you ask him about his
And there he was
qualifications
reducing it.
as a
It was
forensic
never said like
expert?
that. It was never said like that. The first time, yes. Yeah, we just went in and checked and then we went out. It was not but the second time, which I think Nxumalo was asking about.
Yes. And Nxumalo was asking about Matebula's testimony, not Mthethwa's testimony. Matebula not mthethwa, judge. Uthe wena uyalalela.
No, the man does listen, but believe in you, me.
Then why
if he
are you
was to
doing
write, if he was to write a test, he'd probably be at my daughter's score.
I was very, very disappointed. I was like, it's happening again, judge. Why? Then he said, I suggested to you, why didn't you ask him about his qualifications as a forensic expert or a forensic gatherer of evidence? This is mthethwa here. We remember this very well, where you just disturbed Nxumalo's cross-examination like that, and you said he should ask him whether he's a forensic expert. Matebula is a different person, and Nxumalo said, my understanding of his evidence is that he did a diligent search. And Nxumalo is talking about Matebula here.
And indeed, that's an understanding. Because that's what they said when they come back. They did check properly.
Yes,
after
when they came back for the second
time.
time. And the judge said, we can play it back, Mr. Mnisi and Rapasilo. He's still calling Ramosepeli funny names. You don't remember the evidence of Mtimkulu when he said he just used the naked eye.
You know what he did there?
What?
Ramosepeli was not agreeing with the judge, but the judge made him
agree with him.
Sound like he was agreeing with him. He had to sit down because he did not finish the statement of indeed, my lord. And then
I remember there was even a reference to decolonization of before he could finish, the judge was like, yes, that's it right there. And I said, we as Africans, South Africa, we argue that we want to decolonize Western knowledge without having the instruments to do that. In other words, we don't use magnifying glass, for instance. We don't use telescopic apparatus. Now, this is really troubling for me. I wish I could leave this topic alone. This disturbs my soul. This irks me. Leave it alone if you don't understand what it means. If you don't understand what people are saying when they're saying that it's time for decolonization of Africa, leave it alone.
And I did say that I'm worried that you see this to me, and this is according to what I'm observing. When I see someone who looks like an apologist of note, I get worried because I know that the treatment that comes there is not different of that one that my forefathers used to get. But let us continue.
Now, I don't think that our honorable judge understands the decolonization concept. If there's anything, he is convinced that people of color created everything. People of no color created everything.
Yeah, it sounds
like
more
there's
convinced.
No black inventors.
Yeah,
like
it sounds more convinced.
There's no black people who created any technological things. And I don't think he also understands that Africans existed with their own knowledge prior to colonization. There's Timbuktu. There's a lot of ornaments now that are found. The Great Wall of Zimbabwe. That before colonization, we were working. Things were happening in Africa, right?
Yes, we even had electricity.
We even, there's a lot of things that were happening. Just because you don't have access to that knowledge, it does not mean that it never happened and Africans were civilized by the West. No, that's not necessarily the case.
And that's an argument that the judge is taking. And you see,
he honestly scares me.
A small argument turns left.
He honestly scares me.
You end up asking yourself, how did I get in here, by the way? Because what I'm arguing about is totally different from what this man is actually arguing about. He's on his own world. But you are arguing. And exactly that's what is happening with this case.
Wow.
So is it exciting that someone like that is gonna be trusted with the only judgment that could be important?
No, it's disturbing. I think you should leave this decolonization thingy alone. No, you're not going to win that argument. Nxumalo said he was asked to look at the transcript, and they didn't have the transcript of Mathebula's evidence in chief and the re-examination by the state. So they were looking through the transcripts, the ones that they had access to, and Mathebula's testimony and cross-examination with Mnisi happened on Wednesday. So they couldn't find those transcripts. I don't think they are printed yet. And the judge was like, Mr. Rapulise, you don't keep notes. Ramosipili said that he does not keep notes. And Mnisi said that he does keep notes, but does not only rely on the notes, he also relies on his memory. And the judge said Mnisi must tell them what he wrote. And Mnisi stood up and he said, we searched thoroughly. Utes begile. You know, and the judge said, never use the word thoroughly, diligently, never. And Mnisi said, but I understood him to say that he searched thoroughly. And the judge was like, is that so? And that's why he says he came back for the second time. Do you remember that evidence? And then they replayed the recording in court, and then there was a short adjournment. So after that adjournment, Baloyi came back and read transcripts where Mthethwa said that they
was
waited
that
for
transcript
Mosia.
or his notes?
His notes.
Yeah.
Was it his
Because
notes?
there was no transcript for that.
Oh, there was no transcript. It was his notes. My apologies. He read from his notes. And then Mnisi said, we don't dispute that that is what Mthethwa said. Let's go to the evidence of Mathebula. No, he read from the transcripts. He was reading Mthethwa's testimony. Mthethwa appeared before Mathebula. The transcripts they don't have is that
Is
of
that
Mathebula.
one of Mathebula?
Yeah. So he said, let's go to the evidence of Mathebula. And the judge said, who is giving evidence here? It's this gentleman, meaning Mosia. And then Mnisi said, the reason why I'm saying that, my lord, is because the state is reading what Mthethwa said, and we are here arguing about what Mathebula said. And the judge said, I'm not arguing. I know the evidence. I know what the evidence was. I didn't argue. I know what the evidence was.
Why do you need to exert that you know? I mean, over-exerting it, actually. Because you're still going to go through your notes if they are there.
The transcript.
The
recordings.
and correct yourself, by the way. It's like we are taking notes right now, scrambled notes, and you're still gonna. They are pointers in a sense from the transcript. Where would you like to listen more and be more attentive?
Yes.
That's basically what is going to happen. And what you should also know is that, in a sense, in this court of this informal court, we also have our transcript, which is SABC.
Yes, we do. And on top of everything else, I remember my journey as a student. By the time I started doing well was the time I gave up writing notes in class, you know.
Yeah, because it depends. Other people are good with that. I don't write notes. I don't. When I go to any class,
I want to listen and find the basis of what I
listen
need to know.
and move out, and then I go create my own theory.
When
That's
I used
me.
to write notes, hey, I failed you. When I used to write notes, because I felt like they were taking away from the listening process, I had to stop at some point. I told myself, you know what? I have to find the gist of what I need to study.
Yeah, so I go there to just have, like, if you understand, highlighted mind.
Yes.
And also I have limited time I can actually listen to a lecture. More than an hour, it's pushing it.
Aye. And then when even Ramasipili said he doesn't take notes, I began to think that's why his cross-examination is so good. He listens for what he needs to re-question on. And that's a beautiful thing to have, a beautiful skill, because we had to learn the hard way. He said, I can even tell you how it developed. I even suggested to Mr. Nxumalo, why don't you ask him about whether he has any forensic skills? Still, he's talking about Mthethwa. He's not talking about Mathebula. He said, I said, with a proud chest, the judge was talking about Mthethwa and Nxumalo, and Mnisi were talking about Mathebula's testimony. and asked regarding Matebula's testimony, not Mtetwa's. And Mnisi said, we are talking about Matebula say. The youngster who said we searched, not Mtetwa. Remember, Mtetwa has always been clutching at straws and was looking down. And the judge was like, okay, it doesn't help us. Okay, it's fine. And Nisi said, but let's look at the evidence of the young man, that is Matebula. It is there on the record. And the judge said to Nxumalo, are you still re-examining, sir? Because it doesn't help us. Because the point in issue, he is not a forensic expert. I mean, really.
Shifting the goalposts.
Does it take the metaphor?
Shifting the goalposts, as usual. When you are pressed against the wall, you...
Nxumalo then said, my focus was on the evidence of Matebula. And then the judge said, even if he's not a forensic expert, I mean, really, does it take the metaphor?
So now the question is, if you are not merely a forensic expert, you are not supposed to see that blue is blue.
Yeah, in that court, yes.
So you are not supposed to see that this is
You're
blood.
not supposed to have an opinion on
More so if you are trained a bit about those things. I mean,
Yes.
you work in that department.
it's the field.
You are
He
expected,
collected the
yes.
bullets.
Yes.
He collected them. He's the one who took them. Even the ballistic expert did not have first touch with the scene. Mosia did.
It just doesn't make sense.
Then Nxumalo said, it does. And the judge said, oh, I see. Okay, it's fine. Go ahead. Well,
You
for
know,
me,
the feeling is that is like, oh, I'll show you.
yeah.
You know,
it's like,
every time this judge says, I see,
Ngizokukhombisa.
he's not conceding because he's accepting that he's losing the debate.
like, I'm gonna
he's
deal with
accepting
you
like,
later.
I'm going to show you.
it's the whole dismissing again when it comes to the defense counsel without listening to what is being asked. And if you didn't hear the question, it's okay to ask for a repetition of the question, judge. So Nxumalo said, warrant officer, the evidence of Sergeant Timothy Matebula is to the effect that there was a search that was conducted in the kitchen under cross-examination by my colleague, Advocate Nisi. He referred that witness to photos of the kitchen where he said a search was conducted and nothing was found. And Mosia said, I have no comment on that. And then Nxumalo asked, you also did not find anything. You did not find the bullet projectile on the first visit. And Mosia said, I explained that I found the bullet fragment, the head, and the walking stick. I indicated the bullet hole on the floor. I also saw blood in the sitting room on the floor. And Nxumalo asked, you told this court that you are a forensic investigator. I am the crime scene attendant. That's what Mosia now calls himself. A crime scene attendant.
And that question is
He's no
deliberate.
longer a
That question is
forensic
deliberate
what?
because before De Novo, he was debunked by Mshololo.
Yes.
To say that, but you are actually what he's calling himself now.
Now, a crime scene attendant. You're not a forensic analyst. Why are you using that term, sir? Because
It's a very nice term to use, I guess. So
no, but you need to have done some BSc stuff, to call yourself a forensic analyst. There has to be some scientific studying of collection of DNA and all of that stuff. So, Msiano, even before De Novo, we were very, very worried that you are the forensic what in the police. There's so many BSc students. What is happening in South Africa? There's so many BSc graduates that have studied to do this thing properly. And it's kind of worrying that they are not where they are supposed to be. It's very worrying. And Nxumalo said, you told this court that you're a forensic investigator. And he said, I'm a crime scene attendant. What are the duties of the crime scene attendant? And Mosia said, it is to document the crime scene in the form of pictures and to search the exhibits and document them in the form of photos and to take the evidence to where it is supposed to go and to present evidence in court. Nxumalo asked, you told this court that you thought that the bullet might have gone into the panels of the door. Is that what you you have said, and Mosia said, yes, it is true, it did not occur to you that it might have ricocheted and landed somewhere in the kitchen. And Mosia said, people who have the expertise about investigating firearms are ballistics. They are the ones who reconstruct the crime scene to say which position belonged to the victim, which belonged to the shooter, and everything like that. And I was like, yo, back to square one. And you know what pissed me off about this answer is the fact that he got it during that argument with the judge.
Exactly.
He got that
the
clue
hint
to say that.
To actually say that.
He had a lot of time to process what was happening there, and he's like, this is how I'm getting out of this question. So Nxumalo basically had hit a wall here thanks to the judge, making Mosia aware that he's not a ballistic expert.
He's been doing that with a lot of them.
Then Nxumalo said, so you were not answering the question that I asked you. So it does not occur to you that the bullet may have ricocheted somewhere. And the judge is like, this witness is very clear. He says, I don't have expertise in that field. There is a person who are trained like ballistic experts who even reconstructs scenes. Let's just do this case properly. That is why I was asking you, does it take the case any further? Cross-examining a forensic gatherer as if you are cross-examining a ballistic expert. So you can cross-examine the gentleman the whole day. His evidence in the final analysis is that he's not a ballistic expert. If you want to continue on that trend of questioning, then it's fine. You can do so. Yet he took the bullets from the crime scene, guys. He's the one who took the bullets. He's the one who had an encounter with the crime scene. First encounter with them bullets. First encounter with them projectiles. And where they landed, first encounter. And the judge is taking it away from us. What business did he have collecting bullets if he's not going to have any comment on them and what he thinks happened? What business did he have being at that crime scene? Nxumalo said, no, I will leave it there because I'm told that the ballistic experts are still coming. I have no further cross-examination. Then Mshololo had another attorney or advocate standing in for her. His brief was that he should not cross-examine. Advocate Mshololo will be the one to cross-examine on Monday. The judge was worried still about the stenographer, the person handling the recordings in the court, not being able to play back the evidence led in court. He said he could not find the part where Mnisi was cross-examining Matebula. The judge asked if he found his own remarks or what he had said. And he said yes. Baloyi stood and read from his notes. And guess what he picked? Advocate Mshololo's cross-examination of Sergeant Matebula, the one she butchered, yes. Where Mshololo asked, did you search on top of the cupboards? He said yes. If there was any exhibit, you would have seen it. He said, I cannot say. Mnisi said it's a pick and choose. And the judge said that he is not continuing in that fashion. They played Mnisi's cross-examination. Then there was an early adjournment until Monday.
Right. So when we talk about things, let me start here. When we talk about, we say we think Mshololo messed up yesterday. Was it yesterday?
People were like, we can't wait for Mshololo.
They catch feelings.
Y'all missed it.
They catch feelings. People say, no,
She
you guys are
actually
attacking
wrote
Mshololo.
this.
Now look at that. It's not a mistake that Baloyi is picking that part.
No, it's not a mistake.
It's not a mistake.
No. Baloyi knows exactly who to support, who
To
will
his
support
his own
argument.
his argument
Yes.
with. Do you understand?
He knows, he was
It's
listening.
not a
He's
mistake.
a very attentive listener.
He writes,
And
not
I'm
even
sure-
attentive, he's writing.
And I'm sure you've seen he also has help next to him.
Do you understand?
So Baloyi
So they
is
collaborate notes.
armed. Ubalo is very armed and prepared.
You guys are paying for that help.
With your tax money.
Yeah. So, we are also paying, by the
We are all paying.
Yeah. So, so here's the problem, Emily, that I want to raise today. I want you to first have a look at this video, and perhaps you will see where I'm going.
Let me take back what is most important. I can't move up and down.
Now, this is someone who's frustrated.
Bongantanzi.
This is someone who's frustrated, and why he's frustrated, in my own assumption, is the absence of Nxumalo, which seems to prolong this case even further. Because that now means Mosia is still going to come back. We could have finished with Mosia today and started with a new person, probably. Today. And this is not a first time. Before De Novo, she was given this long period of reading whatever that she needed to read. It was during the time when, I think, was it TT?
TT.
Yes. And before
3
that,
months.
there were a bit of, one would say, it looked, when Tifo was there was a bit more cooperation with the NPA. More than you would cooperate with, like now, what is happening now. So, these are things that we need to point.
We can see them, can't we?
This is my observation. And the question still remains. I see Mnisi is someone that no one is pleased to see in that court, and I know for sure from what I'm seeing he's not getting any treatment his way most of the time. Ramusibedi, they are even butchering the name.
Hey, Rapusilele. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, baton judge.
So, from what we said yesterday, he could have said, I'm not going to cross-examine on this one, right?
She could have said that. Remember, we even talked about it.
And then done.
She could have set this one out. And
Do you
then
understand?
Baloyi would have been examining a new witness today.
But Baloyi seems to kind of understand Nxumalo is not around. And this case is not about Nxumalo.
It's not, actually.
It should never be about Nxumalo. Even if Nxumalo was this great advocate that ever existed, it should never be about Nxumalo. Why do I submit that?
Why?
People who stand a chance of going out, actually, it's is it 1 and 2 or 1?
I think it's 1 and 2,
Yes.
based off of the fact that was there conviction with his previous case?
Yes,
I don't
yes.
think so.
So-
1 and 2 are the ones who stand a better chance of getting their freedom back.
So those are people that are important in this case, more than the rest.
But Nxumalo yena
The
Wakhe.
time, like she seems to
accused
be
wakhe.
having more time. I know that she's busy, probably she's dealing with other cases, but if you are going to do that, then allow that guy, whoever you send, to cross-examine. Give him
Prepare
what
the
you
questions. You
prepare
already
the
have
questions
them.
and
Give
send
them
that
to
guy
him.
to cross-examine.
What's
You're
the
giving him
problem?
also a limelight, because this
Yes.
case also, one must argue that it's also about the limelight
Yes.
of people
Give
being
it
known.
and train your people, right?
Yeah.
It's obvious that you're working with him. You need well-trained advocates.
If this was some Gerinel with some guy that Maleme dealt with on that court, in that court, do you think he wouldn't have said continue asking questions?
He would have. I see that with advocates and attorneys of no color a lot.
Yes.
They are able to say, you can continue because I won't be able to make it.
Yes.
They give them instructions.
Yes.
And they continue with what is required. Ain't no case that's going to stop because advocate of no color did not show up.
Yes.
He will actually allow the person that he sent to continue.
Yes.
So
and that
I
is called
don't-
trust, and that is called grooming someone.
And making sure that you are making the best lawyer for your firm.
You are opening a stage for these people.
Yes.
You're saying, showcase yourself.
You know, I've heard of attorneys, especially the ones like us of color. They complain a lot about this thing. There's no unwillingness to give training, proper training. It's only happening with the attorneys and advocates of no color. It's not happening with us, and I don't understand why. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand why, when you've made it and you've got your own firm or you've got your own thing going on and you decide to take these younger attorneys, why you can't
As your book carry, they carrying your books and then they're pulling
Taking
that
your
book.
notes.
That's it. Is
That's
that what
it.
they're good for?
No. We need to do better. We need to do better, honestly speaking. And when I saw
And
that guy, I'm like,
Mosia
this
is
guy
more
could
like-
have
yeah.
continued with the cross-examination. So what's the big deal, Mshololo? You could have just given him your notes and your questions. And
Yes.
then you'll watch over the weekend and life goes on. Now people are held hostage by you. How does it feel? Everything stops because you are not there. How does it feel? Does it make you happy? Like, I don't understand. I'm very frustrated on Bongani Ntanzi's
The
behalf.
time that this case takes, one also must analyze how many breaks did we have because of one person.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And now that brings us back to the issue now of saying, at some point they wanted medical aid payment, right?
yes, legal aid.
Legal aid payments.
aid.
Thinking about medical aid myself. Legal aid payments. And it's worrying, man.
Hayona indaba kaMshololo mayenza nje ngivele ngibe ne-demotivation ukuthi kanti advocate Mshololo dintsang.
Look, if you know that you're not going to be there, what is the problem by asking, okay, let me start cross-examining then? If you want to do it yourself.
I was like,
Talk to your colleagues and say, colleague, look, I might be absent on this day. Can I be the one first?
Nxumalo the questions, or gave Nxumalo the questions.
Yeah, because seemingly there is, you see, from what I'm seeing in that court, yes, they are working together as four of this defense, but there is groups and you can almost see them. Nxumalo is more in line with Mshololo.
Yes, he's also
You
from
can
KZN.
almost say that probably there is that knowledge of each other. We're from KZN, we work together, we've seen each other. And then Ramosipid and Nisi
which are based more in
Gauteng, they are
Pretoria.
working together. I'm sure they even share some lights on please ask this, I'll follow up with that.
So yeah, Kona, hi guys. Nyazi namthanda Mshololo, but and yesterday, considering that there was an early adjournment and they went to the chambers, and now Friday she doesn't show up. It's like,
The aim is to finish this, right?
what is going
in,
on?
in no time. The aim is to finish this in no time. But the actions are sometimes questionable, to say that, is your interested heart really
Is
at
it?
seeing justice here?
Is it?
Because now we're going to have to start to asking those questions to say, but are we interested in finishing this thing in time? Or maybe because Baloyi is excited. You can
He's
see,
happy,
you
he
can
gets
even
more
see.
time.
Yeah,
He
you can
gets
even
more
see
time.
on this video that he's smiling already. That
Cheerful,
face,
you know,
yeah, it's cheerful.
He's happy, you saw he's happy. Bongani is the only one who's frustrated. Bello is very happy. He's like shaking hands with everybody, he gets more time. He gets more time to prepare for Monday.
Then the next witness that will come there will be sounding more like an advocate than a witness.
yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly. To be using the terms.
The arc.
A ballistic projectile.
I will not be commenting on other people's statements. You know that kind of, yeah.
Yeah, listen, guys. Please like the video, and you guys can call now. I think we are done.
Yeah, we are done. You can call guys
Like the
and
video.
let us know what you think. I know that.
Thank you for joining membership. I see there's someone who joined membership today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We welcome you.
Welcome.
This is your home. This is Lindy Wekoza.
Hi, Lindiwe. Welcome to the Mzansi Reality family. Thank you so much for joining the membership.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
You can also join it the same way that Lindiwe did. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. Like the video though, if you cannot join as yet, like the video, share the video, subscribe. That is for free.
Free of charge. Free mtakama. And also like the video. It costs you nothing.
Let's
Hit that
take
like
the
button.
first call. Mzansi, hello. All right. Remember the 1 minute issue, guys. We still remain on 1 minute. Mzansi, hello.
Good evening, Mr. Anonymous and Emily.
Hi,
Hi,
good
sir.
evening.
Yes, I think we need to have a slogan when one call need to say that allegedly.
Yes.
Yeah, allegedly. Before they start speaking.
But you cannot speak without saying that.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, I would like to agree with you, Ned.
Yes.
It looks like when it comes to Nxumalo, it's about scoring points.
Mm.
Because when you look at the other advocates, when they realize that another advocate did everything, they say no question. Because there is nothing that Nxumalo is going to get from this guy that is not being taught. You summarize it the day before yesterday when you say, Munis is done with this witness. We got everything we wanted from him.
Yes.
He told us that the gun is a revolver. So why do we have to keep him there? What is it that we need to get from him? Unless we're going to destroy the case. So I believe Nxumalo is about scoring points. I said it.
Yeah.
That it is not working with them as a team. And if they were to work as a team, when the case is finished, they just accept, move on, next witness, so that we can finish this case. We're having hundreds and something witnesses, and we're not sure that it's 109. We're just told that there is 109, number 109. So be surprised one day they will tell you 135.
It could be more because they're still going to call the ones that were not called. The defense is still going to might call their own.
Even Baloy never said that number 109 is the last witness. We might be surprised that we still have 200 witnesses.
You know? Which prolong the case.
Exactly. So, but yeah, let me give other people a chance then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing.
Yes. Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello. Zanzi, hello.
Hi, Anonymous and Emily. How are you doing?
We're
Good.
doing good.
It's Pivo speaking from Ekem, Eastern Cape.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to say anything much in this piece, man. I just want to give a compliment to you, Anonymous and Emily. Especially you, Anonymous. You are working full time like all of us.
Yes.
But you make the time to do and analyze and do this. And you're so spot on all of this.
Yeah.
Emily, I cannot take it my power for you because you always spot on, and then don't mind those people talking about your bottle. I like the way you put it in the cap. Don't mind them, Emily, especially those ones. They are just haters. But what I wanted to say to you, keep it up the good work. And then I tried to ask you, how do I pay my money? Because I like the channel. And then the part is I need to get the advance notice of when is the next video going to be loaded so that I can be able to know. Because after we are working, we need to know what time we're going to be having this message.
Yes.
Otherwise, for the case, Are we going to listen to all of those 103 people coming to this place and then following and the guy? I don't want to lie to you. Are we going to listen to all of this 103?
Yes. We are already halfway. Let's say we are already halfway.
But if the states can see if this is not going to work, what are they don't? Because the more the time you spend with those guys, understand, the more money they're going to have to pay to this. It's not the same, Mr. Anonymous. You see people that. That's my concern. That if the state is after taxpayers, also you, Emily, you paying the tax also. Don't run away from that. We're gonna pay for this bill, all of us.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Let us give this one a chance also. We will show you.
Otherwise, it's a 1 minute. I don't know. I did my 1 minute. Bye bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mzansi, hello.
Hey, family.
Hi, how are you, sir?
All right, man.
Yes.
Man, nothing much to say, man.
Yes.
The judge, man. The judge, man, he looks like he's got something against his defense. And more especially when there's a point where it leads to the state where they realize there's a what you call contradiction.
Yes.
They seem to jump past, judge seems to jump past and criticize everything and all that. Actually, I know, no.
Overdoing it.
That's how they behave. Then I don't know where we are going.
Yeah, we all are.
I mean, he used to say no matter he ran fast or slow, but the question is he ran to the path. So now today they're talking about the search, but they didn't find anything. Now he's concerned about deliberately searching. But at the end of the day, they searched.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wish who's that advocate, the one who was asking the last one. Nxumalo. You could have just said to him, just okay. At the end of the day, they searched. They didn't find anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whether deliberately or not. They are clear now. It was not Iowa.
Yeah, no.
Okay, take care, guys.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you. One thing about him, he will not lose an argument when it comes to the defense counsel.
No, that's when you know the problem. The person is a problem. If you do not want to lose an argument, it becomes difficult to engage you.
And it's even worse considering his age. I mean, people, when you reach a certain age, nobody cannot tell you nothing. Okay.
Mzansi, hello.
Yeah.
Mzansi, hello. Hi, sir. How are you?
Ninjani.
Yes, you call him.
Siyaphila. Yeah, I just want to echo the guy who put the phone and when it comes to ijudge ukuthi iphazamisa laba ama-defense because umsebenzi we-lawyer obviously uhlukile than i-state. I-state it has to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt.
Yes.
Then it defense umsebenzi wayo is to give that doubt. They understand.
Yes.
Yeah. So umsebenzi we-defense is ukuthi if lona be phakathi ndawo. That's why they ask what do you think how far was it? So if lona it was 7 meters away, omunye is 6 meters, then that's the doubt. So if ujudge athi does it make any difference? Uyashaya. Uyabona ukuthi ufuna ukubhayisisa labantu. And every time it disturbs their trail of thought. So, and when they have to give follow-up questions, he comes in and says, no, then you have a puzzle. You understand? Yeah. And another thing, sorry, Mr. Anonymous brothers. Another thing is when Maggie Piri, Pazamisa, the way alleged. So my question is, it took 4 hours for them to report the case. As human beings, if we can ask ourselves, if we have to fix something or to say
stage something and they give you 4 hours, how much can you do? How much change can you do? Or even even Nale allegedly there was a meeting. That meeting could have been said, which doesn't hamba we dropping, Yolanda Ipuleti in Chile, all of those things could have happened in that 4 hours. Even no Megi no Mama Umegi said, let's clean the because of angfuna abantu babone ukuthi bebephuza. So it means abantu laba impi ibikade phakathi kwabo and banemazane bona phakathi kwabo because bebedake. So iqiniso liphambi kwethu it's just that there's an agenda, status is pushayo with whoever. So sizobona phambili.
Yeah.
Kodwa thina noma kungenzakalani siyalazi iqiniso sesilibonile.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah. Siyabonga bafethu.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Allegedly everything. Everything that might be said that is not supposed to be put without verification. It's alleged.
It's the home of allegedly.
Assumption.
But do we also
Let's
want
see.
people to talk their opinions?
Exactly.
These are
Thank you.
speculations of opinions.
Thank you, Spiwo. Thank you for joining membership. Mzansi, hello.
Thank you, Spiwo.
Mr. Anonymous, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thanks, Emily. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great stuff. The problem that I have is with the judge.
Okay.
This guy, I feel like he has already made a fool of the case. I mean, like, what? Sometimes he happens to ask questions on the defense as to what is the relevancy of your question. So I'm here perplexed as to what is the relevancy of his cross-examination at the end of the defense cross-examination. I'm failing to understand that. What is his relevancy? Because sometimes he asks questions that are not pertinent, they won't help the case anyhow. But then when it comes to the defense, he says, what is the relevancy of that? Why are you doing that as a presiding officer?
Yes.
This is where I get perplexed. He's a presiding officer. He has to chill and listen to the evidence. Because it's quite clear for accused number 1 and 2. Mr. Ramos he made an emphasis that our case here is all about the identities. We were not there. So leave them to pursue that narrative of theirs. Leave them alone and push whatever that they want to push to prove that they are accused, their people, they were not there.
Yes.
So I feel like he's just being emotional and he's a presiding officer.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, that's my take.
Thank you.
Quickly on that. Mshololo finished cross-examining Matebula, and did anybody notice that the judge didn't do that thing he usually does at the end?
Yeah, of follow-up questions. And those questions, I've cautioned those questions, and I said most of them, if not all of them, if you listen to them properly, they are in a form of debunking. I don't know, but we are all analyzing it differently. Most of those questions, if you properly analyze them,
the fact that the judge had no questions for Matebula after Mshololo's cross-examination.
Look, I don't want to sound like I'm pushing that. I see what you're saying, but I don't want to go there now.
Okay.
Why? Because there's gonna be that you guys, but it's fine.
Allegedly.
It's all good because those questions, they are debunking. So if, in a sense, there is no follow-up question after finishing, that means then you were debunking yourself. Zanzi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Mr. Anonymous. How
Yes,
are
sir.
you?
Good, sir.
It's Emily.
Hi.
Yeah. General, like it is. We are worried
Yes.
in South Africa.
Yes.
Yeah, ngiyabona ukuthi isikhathi sithi 1 minute, but I've got something that I need to share with South Africa. As we watch this trial, looking for justice, but I'm worried about the judge, the behavior of the judge, the way he sticks his tongue out as if he's licking ice cream is a problem. It's a real problem because you can actually see even those defense lawyers as they freeze. When he attacks them, it's not good at all. And it's painful because there's a loss of life here. And what this judge, I'm not sure if maybe we can say before judges sit on that chair, there's evidence that is presented on the table. Maybe he knows more than what we know. Because there is no way, Sisemedi and you, Mr. Anonymous, that we can have two judges behaving this way against the 5 accused. Many people don't understand that there are people sitting there, 5 of them, their life is at stake because they are facing life terms, which is very bad. And as South Africans, we can accept that if they are convicted, while we can see that evidence was overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, we can relax, but I'm appealing to South Africans. If what is going to happen, those guys are going to be convicted. South Africans, there's going to be an outcry. Believe it or not, because there will be an injustice at the end of the day. But I want to talk in particular about this judge. This judge, Rata, he likes quoting. We are trying to quote her. He knows a lot of books. And every time when he attacks the lawyers, he will come out and say, you remember 19 Baniban? Long so long ago. But I just want to put it to you, both of you as they're sitting there. We might not be lawyers, but we watch these things. We know there's a little bit of knowledge, guilty. If this judge can convict these fellow brothers, Sabashili Lapana in the dock, I want Rata to recollect one thing, which is he likes quoting. He must go back to what happened in America, where O.J. Simpson was tried and overwhelming evidence was produced and presented in front of the jury. Tina, as we're sitting here as South Africans, we watch from because there's only one judge. But in America, it's a jury system where you've got ordinary members of the public sitting there, taking a decision to say, we don't find him guilty because of 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Mr. Anonymous, I like when you put your points across, and versus Emily as she narrates. I want to talk about this O.J. Simpson trial. That's why I need to the trial. What made O.J. Simpson to work? Because that evidence was compromised. The evidence was compromised. We have a policeman, just like what these policemen are doing. Right now, they are eliminating Lentombazana Leguchi. She was not there when she pointed out the projectile. They are eliminating her. Even what I know, she's going to give away her position. She cannot come to court and say I was there for nothing. They are eliminating her. They don't want her on the scene. They don't want her anywhere. But Mina, I want to talk about the contamination of evidence. What I want to say here, just 1 minute or 2. I want to quote something here. There was a police officer who went over the wall after the killing of Goldman and the wife of O.J. Simpson. That policeman went over the wall. There was only one question that was asked, Umak Femen, did you have a warrant when you went over that wall? What I was thinking about the lives of people, the safety. But if you're thinking about the safety, then why didn't you call backup? You went there on your own, you found a bloody glove. And it turned out this is a racist police officer who will come out and say, the glove will tolerate. And when that glove was presented to court, the jury wanted to hear none of it. Let us talk about the swatching, where you got now this Mosia says, she was laughing. There's a man says, I'm confused now. And there was an adjournment. How can a person be convicted? There was a Chinese guy there who was collecting evidence. That Chinese guy left evidence, blood samples on the stand, soaking for almost 7 hours. When that evidence was produced, let me tell you, the jury wanted to hear none of that because they said you're bringing evidence that is contaminated. Here we have a situation here. Policemen who say there was a shooting, but they can't find the cartridges. Everybody was going in and out. Baloy wants to say it's a revolver. In the first place, he wants to say it's a pistol. But we have a situation here. I ask myself, this guy, the lawyer who was representing him in the first case, I think he gave this guy away. Because there is no way a policeman can ask him to open the room and later they say that his nurse's pharmacy is police without a warrant. That judge, for the first time, I could actually hear him, he's saying the right thing. Did you have a warrant? How can you ping someone with a firearm where you went without asking for a warrant? You had enough time to follow the man, but you couldn't even wait for the warrant to be delivered. Now you come and say, no, he is responsible. We found the firearm there. We will call the woman. The woman will testify. Yes. I'm saying the evidence was compromised. And if these guys don't get acquitted for them, then I mark my words, there won't be justice. There won't be justice. Today, I can tell you, there's 2 Indians who killed somebody during the vaccine unrest. That time they beat the man who walked few meters and collapsed and died. They were given 7 years. Simply because they had people who were representing them. They called the experts. They said, no, we can't pin. That is justice. I'm saying the evidence was compromised. And clearly we can say the revolver was used there. But no, we cannot come and say, because even the first people, Longe Twala, confessed, that was a revolver. Even this guy, no matter how many times they coached him, he said that thing that was like a and then Mosia himself admitted a revolver. Yeah. So Baloy and this charge, unless I can say number 4 aside with what they are coming. So who are they going to say actually was in that house? So that is why they cannot rely on evidence of say when a person is in the sense the complexion yashintsha afane this person angaphandle umnyama but once angene emaseleni obamhlophe because akunala. That's nonsense. That's nonsense from a policeman who is qualified as a criminal engineer. So that's why ngiyacela mina ke ngiyacela yabona ukuthi abangadlali ngathi labantu laba unless if they want to keep this thing long so that they imali izongena ebhokotweni. As for Urata the judge, I think to ibola ahamba yokucheka amajokes wakhe lapha because honestly speaking lento enzakala lapha ngalabantu abantu is not right. Ngiyabonga, I'll stop there. General Chikichi says thank you very much.
Thank you, General. I gave you enough airtime because you were spitting fire there. So let us take other people. Guys, keep the calls coming. If I haven't answered you, yes, there we go. Zanzi, hello.
Mr. Namana Messiah.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to say just 1 or 2 things here. If this country can have a change of government tomorrow, you know that this case is collapsed. Once there can be a change of government tomorrow, this case is gone. All the people that are in this case will be removed.
Why?
Because this thing, no, because the people who are manipulating this case are the people in government. That is very clear. This judge, the politicians have got this thing that they call constructive harassment. And that is the strategy that this judge is using. He's using constructive harassment, he's harassing witnesses, he's harassing the lawyers, he's not harassing the state, you see. So they call it constructive harassment, and they do it because it's put in front of the public just to make the public think that there's justice being served there. There's no justice being served there. You see? First of all, Mosia is a crime scene contaminator. Because you see, a neutral judge would have asked Mosia, why, if you are not a ballistic expert, why are you the first person in a crime scene where there are shots? Because you are not collecting bullets. You did not find the bullets. Bullets were found the following day after you came. So your purpose there was to go and contaminate the scene. If a fair judge, if a judge was fair, he was going to ask him that question. What was the purpose of you going to the crime scene if you are not a ballistic expert? So you contaminated the scene. When there is fire, what if we say now the bullets that were found the following day were planted by you? You see? So I'm saying, and this behavior of Nxumalo, this is my last point.
Yes.
This behavior of Nxumalo, you must mark my words. One thing is, something is going to come up one day. Because, you know, politicians are manipulating cases outside the court. What is happening in the court is what has been discussed elsewhere. So this constructive harassment is happening not only in court, but is happening elsewhere. Some of these people who are involved, I'm not going to mention their names. Some of these people who are involved there in court get calls. If you remember the statement made by advocates before, some of these people, it's very clear that outside court they are getting calls from somewhere, and they are being either coached or intimidated to do this and not to do that. So that explains the behavior of Nxumalo. You must mark my word. One day that thing will come out.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. All is in the name of allegedly. So today we went there. People are spitting fire. But I like the fact that people are able to navigate around what to say and what not to say.
Be careful.
If you do that, I'm good. I'm good because I mean you are not coming and saying this is so and so said that did that. So all we can say, all is alleged.
Everything is alleged because
right. So someone is saying on phone WhatsApp is that maybe we should call our channel Mzansi allegedly.
Mzansi the allegedly channel. Maybe it should change from Mzansi reality.
Please press the like button. Thank you, Patro. Please press that like button. That's an emphasis that comes from one of the subscribers. And subscribe, guys. Become a subscriber. Mzansi, hello. All right.
Mzansi, hello.
Mzansi, hello.
Hello, kunjani?
Sikhona senjani?
Nasaphila. Ngimusha la mangibulisa.
Yeah, mfowethu.
Mina namhlanje uphawula.
Yeah.
Kale khisa Senzo. Ibuhlungu into enzekayo la.
Yeah.
Because into esiyibonayo manje ukuthi justice ayizibakho for Senzo.
Yeah.
And taking from the evidence given by abantu abasendlini, iyashaya ngibone number one kubona. Moving on, I think everything ingasiza isincede because kukhona umthetho wafika and also amathebuli but bahlangene nekheli egeyithini in the hospital.
Yeah.
Now, njengoba ehlangana nekheli egeyithini hospital, there is that account ukuthi ukheli asimazi ukuthi uphume wayaphi from the hospital. Now, I think the angle defense was supposed to kuyo when it was cross-examining the two constables was to look into that angle as to uphume wayaphi uKelly? Did you see uKelly in the hospital after you met her at the gate?
Yes.
Because I think that was going to give us a direction. In doing so, let's suppose also by request imoto zonke musimetrack. Let's suppose by request information as to on that particular day, imoto kaSenzo, as she was driving it, isuke ayibuthilong from ebuthilong yaphuma yaya. Because London is a proper direction as to, because I think there's a time whereby the actions that came, they are not accounted for. So if you look at that window period, Butwa, the hostel is not like far whatsoever when you look at that. So it might be that allegedly she went maybe to that direction as good try cell phone in that direction, because there's time frame here whereby her actions are not accounted for. So I think maybe the snake are cool into or cover the case because I think it depends on that angle at all.
Yeah.
So the GPS record of that car should be retrieved. So that's the one movement what happened when she left the hospital. Because she left the hospital, but she did not go ending. Okay, ufike endlini abomthetho sebebuyile. So there's time frame here. There's a window gap here. And I think we never looked at that. Ngiyanakela kakhulu and zange give abantu the engine and that possibility. And furthermore, just one more thing before when I look at the evidence card,
yes.
Utumelo uthi uSenzo ebefeyise eminyango. Elwa the second intruder, and the second intruder was facing endlini ngaphakathi. Manje, if the shot was fired by the short guy who was behind them, the entry of the bullet would be at the back. Not at the front, because he was facing towards the door. And also, I understand about this ukhona lembobo lesemnyango umnyango nakhe all of that. Now I understand that all the evidence does not amount to anything to me. And furthermore, to the judge, I wish ababuyise Afro, because this one is extra. And who's then a learn to glorify? You know, when you are being glorified, being praised, you know, you tend to forget, you know, the actual job that you are there for.
Yeah.
And so I think he needs to really compose himself and really look into what he is there for. Is to solve the case, to preside over the case.
Yes.
Not to give evidence.
No.
You know, for the witness. Like Namshanje, he embarrassed himself. Today he embarrassed himself completely. Because those were his remarks, not the remarks of the witness. And he's actually testifying on behalf
of the witness.
So it's very important that we must look into his conduct. Also, we must look into his conduct. Thank you guys so much for the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, what are you saying? Are you saying that this judge...
All is alleged. No, we cannot start afresh, guys. I refuse. We cannot start afresh, because if we start afresh, no, de novo again, no. But this man, what is happening with the very same speed? What is happening is that, you see, with let me say this. I never thought I would say this. You see, the problem with who's this? With Mr. Afro. Mr. Afro would shout, ne?
Yes.
But what was happening? Because the case was so slow, it was difficult to actually poke more holes of what the judge is doing wrong, other than shouting and fighting with D4 and all those things. Do you understand? NTT. We saw that hash, and then he was a bit friendly with Nxumalo. But all I'm just trying to say is that with this speed, what is happening now is that we see a lot of holes, because as we are busy now trying to testify on behalf of this person, we start asking questions. Why do you feel jumpy as a judge? Why? Because we are fast. I like the fact that we are fast. I like the fact that the judge allowed that speed
to move at a fast
because
pace.
There previously, if you remember, it was difficult. Yes, we would explain one weight. One weight would take an hour being explained and deliberated on as if we are submitting heads of argument or something. I don't know.
We are in an English class sometimes.
Yeah, so this speed is good because it shows a lot of flaws on SAPS. It also shows, even if you mix them, even if you try to mix them and say, okay, I'm gonna call witness number 100 and something. Whoever comes,
I'm loving the pace.
The blade is hot now. Everyone that comes, it's just
have
a problem
cutting. With the judge speaking on behalf of witnesses. That's it.
The speed is good, but if you can let the proceedings move, these people also
don't be annoyed by the defense.
Yes.
Let the defense work.
Nothing is not important in the court of law. I would like to believe that. You want that. Apply your laws as you were told to apply them, but also allow the movement of the case without distracting and interfering with with people who are cross-examining, because we see a lot of things that are wrong. I like that. Other than that, I wouldn't have the other judge running this in terms of letting it go. I wouldn't. You see, with Maumel, you get stuck in what, like we would be talking about. For example,
Mosia testified for a week under Maumel.
Do you understand?
5 days.
5 days.
5 days.
And now he could have testified for 2 days if it wasn't from Sholon.
Sholon, yes, we would be done with Mosia by today.
Do you understand? So
then there was the application of Zandi that the lawyers had to prepare heads of arguments, just so she didn't want the broadcasting. She wanted a blackout, basically.
And it became a blanket approach
for 3 days. No.
It became a blanket approach. We saw Mtetwa first time. Now Mtetwa is hidden from us as
even
if we don't.
Mosia now it's hidden from us because of
Nzansi, hello.
work.
Hello, Mr. Anonymous. How are you?
We're all good. We're all good on our side. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I just have a contribution. I just want to say, you see, Mosia and the Mtetwas and the Masondos, all these policemen that are there, right?
Yes.
It's not that these guys, they don't know what they have to do. These guys, they know their job. They know what they have to do. There's actually a voice that is giving them instructions from somewhere to do things in the manner they did allegedly. Because you can't tell me that Mosia goes there, there's a kitchen, the door handle by the kitchen and the door handle by that bedroom where that other person went in. And then he doesn't collect the swords from there. It's just so strange. It's just so strange, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So taking 8 pictures, only 8 pictures on the scene, right? And then the equipment isn't working. How can you go with the equipment that's not working at a crime scene? Like, you've been told there's been a shooting. Honestly, I just don't get it. And the person who comes the next day after you takes 100 and something pictures, and then they decide to use those pictures. Really? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And also, you see the other thing, when the defense lawyers, when they really, really poke those holes deep, then they're distorted all the time. What is it that you're hiding, that they don't want us to know? You get me? It's just not on. Like, there are just a lot of shenanigans going on. For me, you see, They know exactly what happened. The person who killed Senzo is known, you see, allegedly. It's just that that person is protected and that person is untouchable, allegedly. You see, now they're saying, I'm just going to give an example. You see what happened to the late AKA? We were told by that spokesman, police spokesman, who came on TV like it was a drive-by shooting, right? But a concerned citizen is like, not today, second. Leaked that CCTV footage, right? That's how we know what happened. Imagine if that concerned citizen never decided to leak the CCTV footage. We're just going to go on a narrative, obviously, AKA has been shot like drive-by shooting. Really? Again, I'm telling you, Mr. Anonymous, they know exactly what's going on. You see, the police general, whatever his name is, he said, like, they know the person who did this, like, they know they know exactly whom they're looking for. When did he say that? Now it's a few months gone. What has happened? They've gone quiet, right? It's not that they don't know what happened to AKA. It's known, and because in these cases, there are other big people that are involved. It's always like this, allegedly. And it's very unfortunate that you see what's happening now with case of Senzo. It's the same thing that we're going to see if ever there's going to be a trial for Ikeska AKA, mark my words. And it's a very sad situation. Thank you.
Thank you. You know what makes me laugh? The caller has a picture of AKA, and then I hear that he's putting the points across about AKA, and then it's okay. It's okay. We understand. The main aim is, but there is similarities. He's actually making good points. There's a bit of similarities. Mzansi, hello.
Hello.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Hello. I'm very well. Good evening, Mzansi.
Good evening.
Yes, Emily. I just want to make a little contribution to the criticism of the judge.
Okay.
Some of your callers have explained exactly that this judge seems to be a kind of a high-end judge because he's very versatile. He's very well known with his law and case law. But what we should also appreciate about this judge is that, as you know, a judge conducts the case. He manages the case. He makes sure that there is a certain standard of appreciation of the advocacy skills of those advocates. And I think that the defense counsel, all three of them, perhaps I might set aside Advocate Nxumalo, are not doing their job. Because when a witness is brought against your client to testify against the character of your client, you must be able to tear that witness into pieces. And you do that by questioning and making critical analysis of the questions and making submissions that, look, the court should not rely or should not find this witness a reliable witness to the court. And that is one way that you can defend your witness. Now, what the judge sometimes does, and I think he himself, the judge, is disappointed with the way defense is handling the case because they tend not to do anything. The prosecution is always interjecting when defense wants to even pursue a certain line of questioning. And they don't do anything. And I think, for me, I think this judge is good. He wants to write a case that is appeal-proof. So, in a way, he tries to encourage the defense to do better. I rather see him as helping us all in this platform of resolving our problem, which is the court, the process, and that is all I want to contribute today.
Right.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Noted.
Thank you, too.
Thank you.
We'll process it.
We'll process. We are about to process it. Yeah, look, I don't fault him that much. I always, as I said, I think the only thing that I like about him is the speed.
Yes. The fast.
Other than that, look, when you motivate someone, I believe at some point you've got to tap them on the shoulder and say, you are actually now doing well. Initially, I went with that narrative that, okay.
Maybe he's appeal proofing.
Yes. Do you understand? But as time goes on, and I'm like, no. After much work is done.
It's like he's got beef with Nisi.
Yeah, and that's a problem. You see, last time, this case has taught me one thing. Whoever is not liked in this case or seems to be the odd one in terms of being treated, that person is the one who's the shark. And if you check the history of how Nisi has been dealing with some other cases, clearly it makes sense to me, out of all the people that are there, why Nisi is a problem.
And initially it felt like Mshololo, but now he's
No.
He's come down with Mshololo. It's more Nisi.
Nisi is a one hell of a person. If you do your research, you would notice that Nisi is actually not just a walk in the park.
All right. Okay.
Right. Look, Amelie, I think it's better to call it a night.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for joining us and for calling and for interacting.
Yes, I will read this because...
and everyone who joined the membership.
Thank you. Welcome. Mr. Anonymous, speed does not bring justice. Yeah, you've got a point there. You've got a point, and I agree with you. But what I'm just saying is, I'm not saying that brings justice, and I'm obviously, all I'm saying is that we are seeing a lot of mistakes. There is a movement that was not allowed at the time, so we were not able to see a lot of mistakes. Only mistake that we were pointing out is a fight between advocates and what the word is said. If I say wrong, discussing wrong for an hour, as if we are arguing now, or the Supreme High Court where Dalimbofu is mostly playing at, where they are discussing. It's more like a discussion, which I don't have any problem with if you are going to teach each other law and do all those things. But
this is a criminal case, and you must also
cross-examining,
think that the accused are paying their lawyers.
Mzansi, hello.
Yebo, ninjani?
Sikhona njani?
Asikhona.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emily.
Hi.
Yeah, unjani?
Ngiyaphila unjani?
Asikhona.
Asizwe.
I'm worried about the judge. Hey.
Yeah.
Allegedly the judge, it's no longer a mistake. Because like Linda Valley Ayenzayo, it's no longer a mistake. You know, if you've got a girlfriend, you're suspect to your jola, the girlfriend, I know. We are figuring this cat over short. I know girlfriend Louis. We are joling and pale. Yeah, because Linda Valley I wish in change. Yeah, Yamatebula.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because uluzile last time, because umnis we made before after umathebula satisfy judge urata uthi uyambuza umathebula uthi hey Mathebula, did you look? Yeah, umathebula yavuma, yeah, we looked. And uyazama ngathi uyabona lapha ukhipha lo limi lakhe ujudge ngathi manje ustabaya ufuna uchama umathebula uthi yavume uthi hayi maybe we didn't look properly, but umathebula just said we looked. But namhlanje the judge is bringing it back. He want to win that battle. I know Mathebula they didn't look properly, but Mathebula said we looked.
Yes, I remember that part.
Yeah, he said we looked, but today the judge is bringing, and today he knew that Mr. Nxumalo is talking about Matebula. But the judge and Baloyi, they are bringing evidence of Muthetwa.
Yes.
And it's not a mistake. They know exactly what the Matebula said, but they are bringing the evidence of Muthetwa. No, Muthetwa said we just looked. But Matebula was specific. We looked. And they even asked him, did you look at the kitchen? Yes, we looked. But the judge, it's not a mistake that he's avoiding Matebula's evidence and bringing Muthetwa. It's not longer a mistake. Even Baloyi, he's reading the evidence of Muthetwa. But the defense is talking about Matebula. Why, if the judge is saying he's helping, but why helping only one side? And trying to fight, you just want to win this battle of, because he was defeated by Matebula to say, we looked and we didn't find anything. Because it doesn't matter, because if you hear this Mosia is saying, even after the people he was waiting for, they looked and they didn't find anything. They find it in the morning. So the possibility of planting the evidence there is going higher and higher, but the judge is pressing it. Because Mosia said no, he waited for those guys to help him, but they didn't find anything. They find it for the next time when they come back.
With a special
so
task.
if Mosia came after 4 hours and he went for another 5 hours and come back and find the evidence, can you still call it that evidence? Use it in court?
No. It's there are many grounds.
See, but that's why the judge is worried to say no. We must not press this case. These people, they didn't look. Even today, he said, no, you can't ask Mosia these questions. It's not a forensic. Hey, the judge know what. I'm worried because now I can see it. It's clear now that why the judge doesn't want something just good for defense to say no. Because from how many witnesses now? The state is just embarrassing itself. But people look at that guy, that short video for that guy. He's worried for his life. He have got family.
Yes.
But as a South African, we are just cool. I don't know, it's because we are everybody struggling with this and that, but what is happening? If it was my sister or my brother or myself in that situation, when my life, my future is in the hands of such kind of a judge, it's very worried. And it's not a mistake. And if people don't believe, they can't see it now, they will see it later. But it's not a mistake that somebody is saying, we looked, and you try to hide it. Try to embarrass the defense. Okay, when they find the audio, he said, no, we are not going that way. Because now they find the audio of Matebula. I said, no, we are not going that way. Because he knew exactly if they play that audio, Matebula was saying, we looked. Yeah, you see, so there's no case here.
Yeah, no.
And they just trying to look where they can catch these guys. But if the judge can allow the defense to do their work properly, it's good. He can do it. If they are wasting time, he can tell them, hey, you are repeating questions. We don't need to repeat here. Or you are asking unnecessary question. But if a witness is saying something, he said something, don't change the evidence of the witness.
Yes.
As much as I said, oh, me, I listen. As much as I listen to, they said, my mother says Zulu. even if we are not a Zulu, but we are listening, we have got the ears. We can hear what the witness is saying. But don't tell us that I listen. Me, I listen to the evidence. Who's not listening? Everybody's listening. Who's not listening? Thank you, guys. Today I'm worried about this. I'm saying if you have got a girlfriend and you are suspecting that this girlfriend is cheating or your boyfriend is cheating, today I reached that moment that I said, yo, my girlfriend, she's cheating. The judge, sharp.
Thank you. It is all alleged. Guys,
is allegedly.
Thank you for being with us. Please like the video, guys. Please like the video. Like. Let's push it to 600, guys. Like the video.
Likes.
Let's just sleep with 600. We see. Thank you from. So, someone is saying, remember the judge today, diligent and thoroughly. Okay. And so this is someone who's on WhatsApp. Let me read this one. Judge and Malo both government payroll. Why the judge always tries to suppress the defense? I'm not happy. Please advise me if we're going to see all these witnesses in this case. The Senate government have to pay for this, guys. If the state is lost, if the state lost the case, they can sue. They can sue. What a waste of a day today. State know every day costs money, both sides.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. And this is someone who's a member who has joined us here.
Thank you for joining.
Let me see. This one is saying awesome example on O.J. Simpson. Acquittal. Yeah. You see, we are learning here.
If it won't fit, you must acquit. If the glove won't fit, you must acquit.
Yes.
O.J. Simpson was a movie.
This one is saying, good evening, family. Big up with excellent job. Thank you very much for compliments. Sisi. Come Judgment Day, so Sisi we court. Lindeni ubani ongalalela sonke ubani ongalalela sonke silalele. And then we have Mpho Sipho kudlalwa ama-dice nge-life zabantu. Yes. And then this is Nkonyane. We are all listening. And then BJ, guys, okay. Let me just read and take few and then leave. Trying to see Edwin, but thank you, Tuli Tools. Thank you, Sizwe, as usual. Thank you, Nobuhle Matenjwa. Thank you, Blessings, Mabena. Thank you, Mamela. Thank you, Tingan. Thank you. And then, those are people. Togozi Slanga. Thank you.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Vuyiswa Kata. Thank you.
Thank you.
Busisiwe Piri. Oh, my Piri. Please like the video. Thank you.
Thank you, Busisiwe.
Please like the video.
Thank you.
Please like the video. Sinenhlanhla Bengu, thank you.
Sinenhlanhla Bengu, yes.
And then Tobeka D, thank you. Ntokozo, our member. Mpele, thank you. And that's basically, if I didn't call your name, Samora, thank you. And Bongani Mendu, thank you. Thank you guys for joining us. Until next time, it's a bye from us.